Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did.
Playing skills.
Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the
Coach, the rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's the scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Set, ready. You got nothing in this. You got nothing. Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it.
This is the rookie from Oklahoma State, Justice Hill. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage. Stuff them in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, set the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it. Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4.
Check, crunch, crunch, crunch.
On 3rd down, it's Hill. Oh, he's got some breathing room. The 40, 30, past the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Justice Hill, his 21st touchdown of the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. You talk about explosion plays. Here's one pretty much right out of the gate.
And now they get to ride a wave of emotion, momentum, everything. Just as you described, right out of the gate. Big sprint, touchdown. They're excited. But on the other side, they've got to guard against a major letdown because they hit them right in the gut with that one. And now you start to question yourself a little bit when you give up the touchdown on the opening drive.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 20. This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his 2nd season, James Conner. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. Earl Thomas in on the stop.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Roethlisberger will throw. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Matt Judon in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And that will be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
They'll start the drive with Hill. He'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. Another good carry there for the NFL's second leading rusher, and we've talked on air, off air about his MVP candidacy. Make a case for him.
Well, I'm just going to tell you point blank, it doesn't matter whether he's first or second or even third in the league in rushing yardage. That's not the main deal. It's how he gets those yards and the impact he has on his ball club.
Watch twist. Watch twist.
On second down now, it's Hill. And he gets this one just shy of the 40 to mark him down at the 39. A gain of 13. It's a first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling. Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Let's go now. 18 Gator, 18 Gator. Oh, yeah. Here we go again. Here we go. Let's go. Come on. Alert 3.
9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back, but it's still a 3rd and 8.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Single receiver, single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver.
On 3rd down, here's Hill. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Back deep for the Steelers, Ryan Switzer. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And the magnitude of this game, everybody knows it. The fans, obviously the players and coaches, there's just with them a palpable buzz right now. They know they control their own destiny.
Win and you're in. And I think every player wants that. I think every coach wants that. I haven't been to an organization yet that wants to be in a game where they have to rely on other teams to get them to their goals. In this situation, it's very cut and dry. Win, and you're in the playoffs. That's their mission. That's their challenge. And you know they've chosen to accept it.
And what they told us is this has been the most focused week of practice we've had all year. You wouldn't expect any different.
Yeah, and you know, at the beginning of the season, you have multiple goals. They just have one now, win the game.
Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that will hit and continue on out of bounds.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Hill. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 19-yard line.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession as they've got it with a 2nd and 10.
Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get the 6. Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. 36. 36.
On 2nd down, it's Hill. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. You talked about the need for them to establish the run early. They've been able to do that here in the first half.
And that means that the whole offense has adopted that attitude and that persona. We're going to take care of this young quarterback. Let's all get together and run it and take the pressure off.
And the Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down.
He's coming. We got double up. 55 mark, guys.
Now a 10th carry for Hill. And he'll be stopped here well short of the 1st down at the 24-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Easy.
They'll try to run forward with counter. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10 is counter. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Roethlisberger escaping the pressure right. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Roethlisberger will hand to Connell. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
2nd and 12 at the 46-yard line.
Set! Like 80! Yeah, I got you. Shift! Watch the shift! Check 31!
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Check these two.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. From the 24, Jackson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The Ravens on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Jackson from the shotgun. And he's got Snead. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Now a first down carry. It's Hill. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Watch the safety creep.
Play action. It's Jackson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And incomplete. An excellent play downfield. Should have been picked off, really. But second down instead. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
On second down, Hill. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Check, 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 check.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. He rifles one that's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. He's at the 30, 10, And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown.
They should have known. They should have known, baby.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, second year, even more success. A pick 6 for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really started to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year one. By year 2, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well. Showed right there.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. It's a very short kick, taken by an up man. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Meanwhile, down in Dallas, an update from there. And the Cowboys on the board again. It's a 2-touchdown lead there. And we'll be sure to keep an eye on that one as we go along here. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Check, 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 check.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet, trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Check 15, check 1 day. Two. Hey, double.
Now Ben going to give this one to Connor. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Set. 180. 22, 44. Back to you. Mike's 40. Mike's 40.
Check it, Alpha.
Check, check. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Switch.
Let's go.
Switch.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Setting up the screen, this is Samuels. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a fourth down. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2.
Watch left. He's down right there. 3 down.
Middle.
Check safety.
They're going on 4th down. It's Roethlisberger. Open man, Smith-Schuster. It's complete. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. Think about some of the memorable performances that Ben Roethlisberger has had over the years, and one of them came against the Ravens. He threw 6 touchdowns back in 2014 in a win against Baltimore. And actually, now that I think about it, that was on the heels of a 6-touchdown performance in a win over Indianapolis the week prior. So October of 2014 was kind of Big Ben. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
At the Ravens' 32-yard line.
White 80. Hey, alert. No spacing.
Switch the mic right here. We go Mike 40. Here we go, D.
Take both of them.
Here I come again.
Double bump.
Shoot. Check.
Focus.
Check.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Roethlisberger. He's going to launch it for Washington. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Kill.
Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard.
Check.
Good.
On 3rd down, it's Connor. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
I know you feel that.
Now 4th down.
They converted once earlier in this drive, but they'll roll the dice here again on 4th down. They'll run for it with Connor. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. The Steelers try it, but they come up empty on 4th down. And the Ravens are going to get the football back.
Here we go.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game.
Oh, now it's free. Hill fumbled it. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
Now this pass to Vance McDonald complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
First down, Steelers.
Here we go, here we go. 230.
Right there, 40's Mike. I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play. Pick that.
50.
Watch the ship, watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship, watch the ship.
Right back to Connor here on first. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
A give running right is Counter. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
Black 20.
40's a month, 40's a month. You're not ready.
Easy.
Mike 40, Mike.
Hey, high 7.
Tell me what you got.
Easy.
What you got, baby? Give me some.
Take 2 of them.
Kill.
Black.
Now it's Roethlisberger. And he's got it. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. Back now in Baltimore. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on first and goal. They'll look to run with Connor. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Conner with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Steelers are going to retake the lead. The point after through the raindrops up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. So a very short kick here. This will be taken by one of the up men. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Jackson. Going to throw again. And he comes back with one complete. 11 yards there, first down.
Let's go.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And once again, Hill, he's been busy. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Under crunch. Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
Check nine, check nine.
Throwing on second down. Jackson got his man complete over the middle. That's Andrews. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens have once again taken the lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now 17-14. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On second down, Connor looking for space. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. The UCLA product, Kenny Young, had the tackle. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
He's down right, he's down to the right, down to the right. Hey. 4 down, 4 down, 4 down.
Keep these two. Hey.
I got it.
50. Hey, Zoo.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Pernell McPhee make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And this drive will start in enemy territory as that gets out of bounds on this side of the 50.
Let's go.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
All day, every day, any day. Check 20 points. 60 foot. Squeak.
20. It's a big play there for Baltimore. Well, hello. I mean, it took him a while to get him a rep, but that's quite an introduction to this game.
And not just hello. How about goodbye to the defense as he went past him? Big-time run on his first carry of the game.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll try to pound it in with Hill. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal.
I got you. I got you.
Hill to try again. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now.
Set. 50 Pittsburgh. 55. Record.
And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon as the Ravens push further out in front. And maybe the defense caught a little by surprise there that he took off and got in?
Yeah, I would think so, because if you're analyzing it from that side of the ball, you're thinking running back, fullback. It takes you a while before you get to the quarterback.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm?
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Tavon Young.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day. Mark 55.
On the ground with Hill to begin the drive. There to stop him, Terrell Edmonds. And now this defense trying to use the clock to their advantage. They'll take the timeout here with 2:08 left, and then they'll have another stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now carry number 20 here for Hill. And maybe shades of the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter.
Let's get it.
And it looks like this will be the last play before the 2-minute warning.
Go. Watch the edge.
Again, it's Hill. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. They'll go with Hill here on first down. It was Mike Hilton up to make the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. On 2nd down, it's Hill. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Right there in the middle, 55.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen. Out. Go.
Mike.
Orbit.
Check 55, Mike.
Get in the weight room.
He may try and run for this. And he's got this down to the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
So finally, at this stage of the game, he lets his legs carry him for a big-time first down. But I think this is all set up by his eyes throughout the game. He's been taking it all in as he's watched this thing unfold. And finally, the eyes carried the legs and took him downfield.
You're right. His longest run of the game waited until the 4th quarter, and maybe that lulled the defense to sleep a little bit.
Tight dog.
On first down, Hill. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. First down, and it's Hill again. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line.